guys, welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are new, hey guys, thank you so much for stopping by our channel. Today I would love to welcome all of you to this new series that I'm going to start, which is Mystery Mondays. And essentially what I'm going to be doing in this series, it's going to be every Monday, and I'm going to be covering stories from mysteries of, unsolved mysteries, crime, anything like that falls into that category. I'm really into, the channel ID, and I love watching Law and Order and just stuff like that, stuff that kind of gets you thinking. And I figured since I love that so much, I would love to do some research and kind of cover my own stories. And today I'm actually going to be talking about the 43 missing students from Mexico that happened back in 2014. I actually didn't even hear about this until a few days ago, and I started doing a little bit of research, and it's kind of interesting, and it definitely opens your eyes, and it opened my eyes to the real side of Mexico, and the ugly part of Mexico, and what truly goes on out there within the government, and just initially how unsafe it is out there. So without any more mumbling or anything like that, let's just go ahead and get right into the video. So like I said, this school dating back years has had issues with the government. So on September 26, 2014, students were getting ready for their annual commandmering of the 1968 Tlatelolco massacre. So they like I said, they were essentially getting ready to go to Mexico City, but when they got to Iguala, Guerrero, they were stopped by police. Based on the reports, the police set up roadblocks to stop the students because the buses were allegedly stolen. But there was I did see a video, and I saw that this was from one survivor. I believe there was a few survivors, but one survivor was able to speak with a reporter, and he did, based on his reports, is that they were actually ambushed by police officers, and with the police officers didn't speak with them or anything. They just automatically started firing at the students at the buses, and they started, obviously by them firing, they did kill, I believe 2 or 3 were killed, and then the 43 were taken into custody by law enforcement. But after that, they were not seen, they were not heard from, they basically vanished. So this student, the survivor that was doing the interview, did mention that, and there was some live footage of the students yelling, they didn't have any weapons on them. When they started trying to defend themselves, they did start picking up rocks because the police officers were not listening. They were just shooting at them, at the buses. But like I said, after they finished shooting at them, they took 43 into custody, and that was the last that was seen of those 43 students. Now, there is, up until this date, from the research that I did and research that I've seen online and other videos that I've seen, this is still unsolved. The government tried for months, and for, I believe, a year, tried to just sweep it under the rug and just basically move on as if the students were already dead. Their search parties, they were just looking for dead bodies at this point. Now, the conspiracies that have been brought up and the beliefs as to why this happened to these students is that there was a mayor of Iguala, Guerrero. Wife was working really hard to make sure that her husband would continue to be mayor and would be very successful politically going into the year 2015. So on September 26th, she had a political party get together nearby where the students were coming through with the buses. Now what people have come up to believe is that she and her husband ordered the police and the law enforcement to ambush the students so that they would not so that the students would not interrupt her political gathering that was going on, so that that would not interfere with her husband continuing to be mayor into 2015, so that they would not have any drama or anything like that going on. Now, the reason why people believe this is because this is actually the head honcho of, well, she's allegedly believed to be the head honcho, the head of a cartel in Igualal Guerrero. After this came up and these allegations came up, both vanished, and they vanished, I'm not sure for how long, but they were gone. They were not heard from. They later on were found in an abandoned house, but they were never charged or put on the stand for what happened to the students. Now, in Igualal Guerrero, there is a whole bunch of hills that are known for cartels, and you know, the cartels essentially, where they go and they have their own cemeteries up there where they just go and they just dig mass holes, and there's just a whole bunch of bodies up there. Now, the government and law enforcement don't really do much when it comes to stuff like that in Igualal Guerrero, from what I've seen and what people have researched, which is why the cartels have all of that up there. Now, tying into that, search parties that went out from law enforcement they had not found anything, and like I said, they still haven't found anything with concrete evidence that it's the students. So since families and basically just the whole community, since they didn't see that law enforcement was getting anywhere with this with these 43 students, as a community, there is community members that do their own that do their own search parties, and that's usually how things that go on in this community get solved. Now, as there is video footage bless you, baby, whereas these search parties are going through, there is from the forensics teams where they just leave their gloves everywhere on the ground, and they just leave their hazardous waste bags thrown on the ground. So it's really just very unprofessional, and that's why the community decides to do their own search parties. And they did find some bodies, but according to the forensics teams, none of those bodies and none of those remains belonged to any of the 43 students. As the mayors, as the government, as the law enforcement was being pushed by the parents of the missing students to give them answers, they then came up with a story that they had found some burnt remains and that they strongly believed that they were the students, but they could not assure the parents for sure. The parents did not want to accept that. They wanted concrete evidence. So as of now, they still have not came up with any remains that can be 100% tied to any of these 43 students. So as of now, going on 4 years, they still have not found what happened to the students. They presumably want to say that they were killed and handed over to the hotel, but as to actual facts, students have not been found. Students have no remains have been found, so it's still a mystery and still a question of what happened to those students and where they are. Parents obviously still have great faith and believe that they'll get their students back alive, but that is essentially the story of the 43 students that went missing in Mexico and were essentially taken by the government, by law enforcement, and were never seen or heard from again. I definitely pray and hope that these families do get closure and that one day they do get answers as to what happened to their sons. But yeah, this was a really sad story, and like I said, it definitely opens your eyes to the real part of Mexico and what really goes on down there, and how corrupted the government is and law enforcement, and they all really work for a completely different system. They work under the cartel, and it's just really sad and scary. Let me know if you guys liked this type of video. Let me know what your thoughts are about the story down below. Let me know if you've heard of this before. I hadn't heard of it, like I said, up until a couple days ago, and it really intrigued me. I'm glad I took a look at it, but it is really sad. Don't forget to give it a like if you did like it. Like I said, comment down below, give me your thoughts, share this, definitely get it some exposure to help these parents get some answers. But yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. I go by the name of King Lil G, and I dedicate this to all my young homies struggling in the motherfucking ghetto. I'ma need you to take a smoke as I take you back to this 90s shit.
Yeah. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter.